Hey everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, which is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
very, very determined. This episode is entitled "The First Deal Ignites the Path to Freedom."
I like that title.
Yeah, that was great. I like that.
Okay.
What does that mean? No, I'm just kidding. To give an example, the first deal. Everyone talks about their first deal. In fact, we're going back to Texas to visit my family because we couldn't over Christmas. And I mean, I was just thinking about our first deal. I know right where it's at. I can drive you to it. We've done how many hundreds of thousands of deals. Yeah. And I can take you right to that house because I know that house. But everybody remembers their first deal, and it's and what we were talking about, it's like babies in their first step, right? And so the babies, they're crawling, right? And then they finally they stand up and they do the drunken sailor wobble, right?
Yes.
Right. But then when they go to take that first step and they fall, we don't go, oh boo, they fell. Oh, that's so sad. No, we encourage them and we're like, yay, you almost did it, and you're encouraging them, and so it's. You said this, and I couldn't agree more. It's like the first deal. Yeah. And because we've gotten to over the years be coaches and for different amounts of people, and when people got their first deal, it was such a big deal. Yes. We were probably more excited for them than they were.
Yes, exactly right. Because it just takes you over with that. I love that baby story because. I can picture the babies. We don't have kids, but I picture babies and they do that drunken sailor wobble, which, it's hilarious. And they fall right back on their butt, right? And fortunately, they have diapers
on it, padded.
But it didn't, it was no big deal usually, right? That, there's like, whoa, they got this surge of, what was that? Let me try that again. And we all just cheer them on. So the first deal in real estate, is supposed to do exactly the same thing. That's kind of why we shared the baby story, is that it's going to ignite the fire to continue because you finally pushed past the fear and saw what was possible. So our example is the apartments. Right. So we didn't want to it wasn't that we didn't want to get into the apartments. It was that we weren't ready for it. We didn't even have it on our business plan yet.
It's a different animal.
Yeah. And so when we got that package that we've told everybody about of the 15 properties plus the apartments, we were wholesaling the apartments. That was not our world. We weren't ready for it. And I told Flipper before we recorded this, I was like, it wasn't that we were scared. And I was like, well, honestly, if we're telling ourselves the truth, we were scared. We don't know the apartment world. Right. We didn't want to just suddenly go, hey, here's a 56 unit. Let's buy it.
Yeah. We'll start with something small.
Yeah. So there was some fear in there, right? But what the situation, we had to end up buying it, right? We told you the story, so we won't repeat it again. But we ended up just having to. So what did we do? We aligned ourselves with somebody who had done over 2,000 units, and they could underwrite it, make sure we weren't buying a bad deal. Right. And they could just kind of be our backup, right? And so they took part of it, and they said, we'll help with the refinance, and so they were our partners in it. But that was one of those situations that after we did that deal, look where we are now. We have a new company called Freedom Capital Investments. We're doing a 365-day podcast series called Freedom Through Passive Income because the light bulb turned on the second we did it. We're like, this is awesome. I want to do that again about 100 more times. But it was that first deal that got us there. Yep. And so that's what this particular episode is totally about. We want to encourage you to push past that fear, no matter what it is. Get past it because that first deal is all that matters. And what you just said about we always get more excited is because we know the feeling. We know the feeling of getting past that first one and getting so excited to doing more.
Exactly. And of course, fear, false evidence appearing real.
Yes.
Right. And when we were talking about all this, and I started thinking back, and when I was growing up, I would never ride a bike. I was just scared to death of riding a bike. I was going to fall. I was going to do whatever. There's no way I was going to ride a bike. And true story, my dad said, you know what? You're going to ride a bike. And I'm like, and he goes, no, you're going to be fine. Let's go over to this parking lot. I got the back end of the back seat here. You just sit up and you start pedaling. And so I said, okay. And he goes, all right, let's go. And I started pedaling. And a couple seconds later, I said, wow, this is awesome. Are you still holding on? And I turned around and he was about 100 yards behind me. And it just... Next thing I know, I've got a BMX and I'm doing jumps and no, I'm just kidding. But it was, I was scared to death of it, but I knew how to do it the whole time. And then I started riding a bike. And that's what this is. That's what real estate is. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just get back up.
Yep, that's right. So one more story to kind of give you this, push you past this example, is a team member of ours. So this particular team member has been talking about becoming a private lender. And they said, I see the returns that these lenders are getting. I've watched you guys do hundreds of deals and, they get cash back out and they always get the returns, even if, you guys lost money on the deal. So I've been talking to my spouse and, my spouse isn't quite sure that they want to do it. And so there was a little bit of fear there. Well, eventually they went ahead and did it. So they moved forward, became a private lender on one of our deals. And very recently, within the last 2 weeks, this person ran to my office and said, we just got cashed out of our deal. And so they had gotten paid and they got their return. And this person was so excited. I'm trying not to use any pronouns here. They were so excited. And they immediately were like, already talked to my spouse and we are going to invest into our next deal. And so all it took was the one, right? And the one, and I said, isn't it like it's addictive? As soon as you see your money placed in somewhere and you get your money back plus baby money, all the babies it made while it was away, and you earn that return, it's like addicting. It's like, ooh, wow, that was good. Let's do that one again. And so it's just a perfect example. It's that first one. You're getting over that first one, and now suddenly, boom, 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 and you're on your path. It literally ignites the path to freedom is doing that first one.
It's like my crypto account. I put the money in and then I just watch it go away. It's so exciting. Where'd it go?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, and the team member knows who you are. Wink. But I hope that this episode was informative. I hope that you got something out of this episode. Make sure you're heading down to our website, freedomcapitalinvestments.com, to join our investor club. Again, there's a lot of information in the investor club that is not on the social media groups. The social media groups, make sure you're heading there, though, Facebook and LinkedIn, because that's where you get a chance to mingle with the team members and ask questions. Tell us how we're doing, whatever it is. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button if you are watching on YouTube. But we like to end all of our episodes with
invest smart,
live happy. Bye, everybody.
Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on this show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss, y'all.